Hello and welcome to Dare to Dream show. I'm your host, Graham Williamson, and you're on newstreamingnetwork.com / WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV and podcasts, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. And my show's Dare to Dream, and as my logo there says, I'm an international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. And I put it that way for a good reason. But the topic today is, do you trust yourself enough? Throughout my life, I was always second guessing. I was always feeling things, trying to work things out. Everything about me just didn't seem to fit compared to everybody else that I was at school with, working with, whatever. The people I met. And I went through all the trauma like everybody else does, growing up, the pains and the incidents we have in our lives that seem to hurt us emotionally and physically. We all go through it. It's growing pains, everybody says. But because I could see spirit from a very early age, I always doubted what other people told me. I didn't understand why they couldn't actually see what I saw and what I felt. Then I started thinking, why do I always think inside myself? We all do it. But I went into it deeper. I thought, I'm spirit having a human experience in this physical form that's called Graham Williamson. And I could feel so many things around me. I knew when my dog was coming in, or my cat, or somebody was walking around with good intentions and all that. But over time, I thought, why is it I'm feeling all this? Why am I picking these things out? I'm an intuitive evidential medium. And since I've started using that phraseology for who I am and describing what I do, I've noticed more people are doing it. And the fact I come from England and I've been in the Navy, I've traveled the world, and I've done readings all over the places I've been to. That's why I use the term international. And also, most of my readings, when the recipient sits down in front of me and I read them, I normally, 9 times out of 10, don't get a repeat. I know the people that are mediums and psychics came around. Said, oh, we're having this person come back each time, this one comes back. Oh, it's great, they always come back. And I thought, why did they need to come back? I thought about it. They're doing it for the money. That was my opinion. And I started analysing things and listening and watching other mediums and psychics. And that's why I came up with this, do you trust yourself enough? And for me, that means stepping down my ego, stepping down from pre-thought. Sorry, I've got a cat that's been around me this evening. I've got hairs. But I've got all these abilities and I've learned to switch my ego off. I've learned to say, okay, this is you, spirit. But it's not just my way of doing things. It's the only way I can understand my spirit inside my human form is in balance to some degree. Otherwise I wouldn't be alive. And I was thinking about it. And I really had to know myself in order to trust spirit to work through me. I had to learn who and what I am inside. My psyche, my ego, my spirituality, my essence, the way I've lived, all my experiences. I had to delve into all that to find out who I am. And do I trust those spirit energies coming through me and speaking through me? How can I define their energy inside me? And to do that, I had to learn to trust what I felt with my gut instinct, with my heart, and speak from my heart, not up here to here. No. It all works through my guts, my intuition, my center, my solar plexus, with my heart. And I learned over the years, as time went on, that I was learning to trust what I felt. I learned when somebody came to me, how did I read that energy from that person that was sitting opposite me? And the only way I could do that is by knowing who I am and trusting what I knew. It wasn't pre-thought, like the shows. I don't pre-think what I'm going to say to you. I trust spirit, and I trust myself in liaison with spirit, in collaboration, full collaboration. They have the rules and regulations, as do I. I don't know all their rules, but they know mine is, yes, I'll allow certain things, and no, I won't allow others. I have to know who is coming through me. I have to know those guides. And the only way I can know them is by knowing myself. And when somebody is argumentative or negative or even positive with me, can I actually hold myself in check to feel whatever energy is coming, positive or negative, towards me? Can I trust myself to let my heart and my instinct work first before I open my mouth? And that's difficult for me. I don't know about you, but trusting to keep my mouth shut when I should do is difficult. Because I know instinctively, and I trust what I know instinctively, to say what I feel. But I have to evaluate with spirit and come to a compromise. Because even though spirit worked through me, I, as a person, as Reverend Graham Williamson, I'm answerable for what I say and do with a recipient. So I have to learn to trust to keep my mouth shut. I have to trust what my guts are telling me. I have to trust spirit, and I choose the word have to, because without it, it's driven by this, the ego. You know, when you're cooking a meal, now I was cooking the Royal Navy, and I was an average cook. I wasn't brilliant or anything like that. But I always learned a phrase: if you don't want to eat that food, why do you expect somebody else to eat it? If it's not good enough for you, it's not good enough for somebody else. And that's always stuck with me. And I left the Navy in 1986 after 14 and a half years in the Navy cooking. And I never knowingly gave a bad meal. It may not have been brilliant, but it was never a bad meal. One of my favourite retorts to people: are you sure about that? I said, well, nobody dead has ever come back and said that was lousy. I made a joke of it. But it's the trusting of my ability, trusting myself enough to say, I don't like this food, but I've got to do it properly to serve it to other people. You imagine all the dishes a Royal Navy cook can do per day. And one of the establishments was 2,500 people, 4 times a day. Big place, very big place. And that was just the petty officers and the chiefs and the master at arms. The wardroom was like 700, which is the officer section, or the captain's house had a dozen. But then the ship's company, in one of the places, like 8,000 to 10,000 people, ship's company. It was a land base. I had to learn to trust my instinct, to trust myself enough. I was on fryers. There was 12 deep fat fryers, 8 gallons per fryer. And I'd have 6 of them going at the same time. 4 for the fries, 1 for whatever needed frying specials, onions and stuff, and 1 for the sweets. And I'd be constantly going. I learned a routine. I learned how to do things efficiently. So when I do readings for recipients, I trust myself for all those years of experience that I learned and I went through. I trust myself enough to say what is needed for the recipient, not what's wanted. It's very rare that it's the same wanting and needing by a recipient. Because spirit know what is more important to the recipient. I never know. I've told some people, I had a lady who had an abusive relationship. Her husband was hurting her, and children she had were really getting through a lot of abuse. I don't know if it's emotional or physical. What I said to her when she first sat down is, "You hypocrite." I said, "Pardon?" I said, "You love your kids, 100%, no doubt, yeah. But you don't love yourself. And you're trying to protect your kids, but you know it isn't working because of the abuse you are suffering, is upsetting the girls because you're suffering." And she looked at me and she says, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, I trust myself enough to know when I see somebody that's being abused, mentally or physically. It doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse, either way." And by the time I'd finished, 15 minutes, that woman that sat opposite me, children weren't there, she came in like this. I just want to try a reading with you. Very hiding. Time she finished, she says, "You're right. It's about time I did something for the girls and kept my word." I said, "Do you trust yourself?" She said, "No, but I'm going to get legal aid, legal advice," or whatever it was she did. And I have had 2 texts from her since. I've started divorce proceedings. I am now free. Had I not trusted my instinct, my guts, my ability with spirit, and said what was needed, I dread to think what would have happened to that lady. I've had a few more people in that situation coming through. I just seem to be in the right place for them. And I always give them choices. I don't tell them, "You've got to do this, you've got to do that." Like I said to the lady with the kids, I said, "You love your kids that much, you're prepared to suffer, which makes your kids suffer, or you're prepared to stand up and protect your kids and yourself." I'll tell you, that woman gave me one of the longest hugs after a reading I've ever had. And you could feel that weight and stress ebbing away. Because I'm a reverend, I'm able to counsel people. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or anything like that, medically trained at all. But I've seen and been involved with people that have been through a lot. By becoming a minister, I can talk in confidence. I never give names or places and dates. No. You see, the legalities of what I do can be severe. And it's because I trust what I do with spirit. I'm able to only have one person, one reading, and very rare do they come back. Because what I've given them is more than they expected. And pardon me for saying this, the truth. Because when I look at people opposite me, I always see a facade. We all do it. We all have it. Even I've got it. Everybody's got it. What is it you're showing the public? What is it you're sharing with the public? Unless you live totally on your own in an island, when you meet people, you show a facade. I have a job switching off to reading people. Reading means all my six senses. I feel no stuff. 9 times I don't want to know it. But Spirit will say, this person needs a smile. This person needs a word of encouragement. This person. And I trust myself not to overdo it. Because each of us need uplifting. A medium's job is to uplift. A psychic's job is to uplift somebody, not to scare them half to death and worry and say, oh, I'm doing this. No, your job is to prove spirit are with you. And we're all psychic, so we can feel comfortable or not. When I get spirit coming through, they give positive affirmation. They give me the ability, with my approval, to help somebody. Do you feel you can trust yourself to help somebody else without hesitation? Think about it. Being in the forces, I had to do things on command. Any service person, whether it be America or United Kingdom, we're there to protect people. Mediums are there to protect people. We are there to uplift them, to make them feel safe, just like a service personnel. We're there to help other people first. But you've got to be honest with yourself. I was talking to a relative the other day about current situations, and I was asked, what would you do if somebody broke into your house, Graham? I said, I'm military trained. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll do something. You come in and be negative, I'll throw you out. Because my home is a castle. So is my integrity. So is my honesty. I'm going to say the truth, even if it makes me look an idiot. Because I used to be an alcoholic. Well, sorry, I was an alcoholic. I haven't touched a drop in 23 years. I knew what it was like to try and lie and cheat to get money from people. I never two-timed. And I've been through 2 marriages before this one. I had girlfriends and all that, but I never dishonored relationship. I'm not perfect. But from all that, I learned, Graham, with all your experiences, you know a bit that some people younger than you, very rarely somebody older, that you could help them find themselves and say, why? Why have I put this facade in front of me? My show, Dare to Dream, the title, it could be used in so many different ways. It's Dare to Dream, but I should have put it, are you scared to live? Are you scared to face yourself? Are you scared to trust yourself? Now, my show, Dare to Dream, I'm the host, Graham Williamson, international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. And I've been doing this nearly 67 years. So if you want to contact me, I'm always an email away, or 2, amedium77@gmail.com, or thebrit, with THEBRITT77 @hotmail.com. Send me an email because I'm here for you. And if you don't want to send an email, you can call me. I'm Florida, USA, 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message. If you don't, I'm sorry, I won't return the call. But you see, all my family work with people with mental and physical disabilities. Also, I should say my parents worked with them. One of my sisters was a care assistant or nursing assistant. Another one was a manager of people retired. And another brother, he worked as a care assistant as well. But all with different types of patient. One sister was a theatre nurse for a while. And I found out two half sisters, one social worker, the other one, believe it or not, is a funeral, or used to be in a funeral cemetery, worked in a cemetery. And my brother, he looks after children. All these people nurse in some form or another. And so do I, but I'm not qualified in any shape or form. I nurse the soul of the person that comes before me, whether it's just for a second, by smiling and saying, hi. People laugh when they're with me. My wife, Sandy, she calls me the comedic medium because I'm always joking around. I took my training to joke around with people from a duo of comedians in England when I was a child, Eric and Ernie Wise. Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise. Eric Morecambe was a tall guy, always playing around, and he had such a way of doing it, he didn't insult anybody. Even his slight innuendos made people laugh, but he was never rude. I've never been rude. If I don't like the person, I shut up. But if I like the energy and they need help, I'm there. Because I know that I can't trust myself if somebody's angry. Because I'll probably say something that'll make them feel angrier. But I've learned to say, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. But I'm not limiting my ability with spirit. Not even slightly. Because the rules I've set all that many years ago to do the highest and best for everybody I encounter. And the last 23 years have been phenomenal. They haven't been perfect, but they're perfectly imperfect. And my life has been so many times rewarded, I can't even imagine to count. I make my wife laugh in a good way, not Graham, you cuckoo. You see, you've got to know who you are. You've got to be able to face yourself. You've got to say, yeah, I'm good enough to do this. I trust myself to do this. This is what I'm doing. I've had umpteen jobs, and now I know why I've had umpteen jobs before I retired. It gave me a broad base of experience in just about any topic you care to name, apart from qualified people, like scientists and doctors and nurses and stuff like that. Painting and decorating I did, masonry, bricklaying, concreting, refurbishing old antiques. I do still woodwork. Paint, doing little jobs around the house. All the skills I've learned. And I trust myself enough to do a reasonable job. And I'm a perfectionist. I'll have to take it's fine. Just leave it like that. No, just tweak. I'm making cornholes at the moment just to sell for Christmas. And Thanksgiving and Christmas. But I could have finished them last week, but I didn't because they weren't quite right. And when I look at them now, I think, hey, it's looking better. Still not perfect, but looking better. And I trust to a point that I say, done. I trust it enough. I trust myself enough. Leave it. You see, life's about experience. Because I can guarantee one thing that you can't take with you is anything physical when you pass into the next plane of existence. All you've got is your emotions, your memory. I want 99.9% of my memory when I ascend is to be positive. So I had a laugh at you. Look, you know what I did there? Can you see that? If I come back as a spirit, ghost, haunt, whatever you want to call it, I want people to laugh. I don't want people to be afraid. Because I've learned that your spirit never ceases to exist. The physical stops, but not the spirit. I know that for being a fact. And I trust it enough to say to you, it's a fact. You cannot get rid of energy. It changes. Life is only one guarantee in our lives, and that's change. Do you trust yourself enough to change for the better, for yourself and for those around you and loved ones, or the complete stranger? I encountered a couple that I've met a few times at a fairground we go every Thursday. And one of the ladies was saying about how much she'd lost in bad weather, hurricane weather in Jamaica. And my wife and I are thinking of streamlining and getting things out the house and get rid of stuff. So we've now got 3 big boxes of stuff that we no longer need. This lady needs it. And I told the lady, you better have space in your car for some boxes we're going to bring you. Because we don't have a lot. But what's the point of keeping something you're no longer going to use? What's the point of keeping something that it was just taking space? I've got the memory of a lot of stuff that I'm now going to give away. Some of the stuff from my Navy days. I've still got things. Got a picture behind it. Well, it's that one there. Tower Bridge, I know the lights on it. It's a bad picture. But I can remember taking that picture. I remember the things over here. All those things. They're up here. I'm not demented. I'm not crazy. Or crazier than anybody else. But I know that I want to fill my life with enough happy thoughts, enough happy intention to help other people as well as myself. And to do that, I've got to learn to trust myself, not to overstep, not to undermine somebody, not to be nasty to somebody, not to be angry. Because the more times you're angry and sad, you ebb away that positivity within you. The vitality in you starts getting dense and you hold yourself in. Oh, I don't like it, man. You know, it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. Check it out. The more times you're miserable, the more energy you're using. Trust yourself to find a way through it. But you have to open your mouth to speak. Just thinking things doesn't do it. I've had so many recipients come to me and say, oh, all my loved ones have passed around me. I don't see them anymore. I don't hear them anymore. And I just wonder, are they around me? I say, okay. Who did you last think of who's passed? Oh, my loved one, my father, or whatever. I'll just say father in this case. Or my father. I've been thinking about him and he's been around, but I can't see him, I can't hear him. I says, what do you do? What do you mean? I said, well, you know you've got the memory of your father. Yeah. What do you do then? And they tell me, I was just thinking about him. You know, I miss him, I love him, which is obvious, we all do in that sense. We all do it. I said, yeah, but are you saying anything to him? What do you mean? I said, well, if your dad came right next to me here, in front of you, this is what you're doing with your dad when you think of him. Okay? You're doing this. I said, nothing. You're thinking it, but you're not doing anything that can connect you with spirit. They've tripped your memory. Says, oh, I mean, I can remember me. And then you're not speaking to them. If your dad was here and you did that, what would he say to you? Can't got your tongue? What's the matter? Talk to him. Talk to him. Trust your memory. Trust this up here with your heart. You don't have to think about it. Spirit will trip those memories. You don't have to say, oh, I want to think about this, in that sequence. It doesn't work that way. Spirit wants you to remember them as they are, alive on the other plane of existence, learning, changing, evolving. If not, job for the rescue medium. And it's a job for those that have been left behind on this earth to start uplifting those who have passed by talking to them. Stop letting them be depressed on the other side. Because I know some spirits, what do you call them, poltergeists or ghosts? Someone say, oh, he's a bad ghost, so he's a bad poltergeist, so he's this or that. And they're just sad because they can't communicate. They're just sad because why are people ignoring me? Why are people not sharing things with me? You wouldn't like it on this earth, would you? To be isolated, not talking to them. You've got to trust your memories, trust yourself enough to speak your thoughts. Look at the Bible. It's got about God created the heavens and earth, but he spent time previous thinking about it until he spoke, and then created the heavens and the earth. He thought about it, then he spoke. And things happened when God spoke. That's what the Bible says. It's good analogy. Spirit needs you to trust yourself. They need you to say, yeah, I now recognize it's mum, dad, or whomever's coming through. Even the dogs, the cats, the birds, they all come through, but you've got to speak to them. Unless you're deaf, then it's sign. I don't know sign, but I could I can communicate enough for the person to understand in part what I was trying to convey to them. Communication has to be clear. I used to work with a person who was deaf and he was doing sign all the time, and the assistant coming in. She says, you're stumping him because you don't know sign, but yet he understands you. I took that as a compliment. I wasn't being big-headed or anything. I was just, wow, he really does? She says, yeah. He doesn't know where you trained. I said, oh. Well, I picked it up. I'll watch people and see how they motivate themselves. And I trust myself enough to say, I wish to communicate back with you. This is a turning point in my life as well as yours. I want people that see my show to understand being a medium isn't easy as people think. That's just it. I don't think. Then it's easy. Being a psychic, how many times have you seen or heard or felt something that didn't feel right or felt, wow, that's brilliant, and it was very good or it was very bad? And when something's bad, you stepped away and you went, phew, I'm glad I stepped away. Or this is going to be fun. And it was. You've got to trust those gut feelings. And the more you do it, the more you uplift your energy. And that energy, the higher you get it, will help spirit work through you easier, if you so allow. You have full control of that when you say it from your heart. I always ask before I come on the show for guidance, protection, and happiness. This show is about how can you be true to yourself? Do you trust yourself enough to stop and let your heart guide you? Now, we'll be closing shortly, and I hope what I've conveyed with you today will help you. I love even the new streaming network. The title, it's a new set of energy flowing through. And on my show, Dare to Dream, I'm your host, Graham Williamson, international intuitive, evidential medium, and psychic. I would like you to contact me by email, and I've got a medium77@gmail.com, or the Brit, THEBRITT77@hotmail.com. I'm here for you to uplift you and give you confidence. Or you could call me on Florida, USA, 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message. If you don't, I won't be able to call you back. And I'm on Facebook. Look up my name, Graham Williamson, medium Graham Williamson. I do whatever's needed by spirit to uplift you. I'm here to help guide you. I've just been lucky enough to get a part-time job helping people by doing readings, and that'll be starting on Tuesdays. I never know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I trust myself enough to know that I'm going to do my best for you and myself and my family. Please, if you like my show, like, share, comment, and subscribe to News Streaming Network, because without you, we can't really evolve. I've been doing the show now for a couple of years, and I've enjoyed every single show. I hope you have as well. And I would like to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. And I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, which shall be December, I think it's about the 7th. I'm not too sure top of my head. But 1 second, we'll have a quick look. Yeah, 4th. 4th of December, 6 till 6:45 p.m. Eastern Date Time. Thank you for listening. And as I say, have fun. Look at that. I was wrong. As I say, I'm never sure what I'm going to be doing 1 minute to the next, but that's the beauty of working with spirit. I trust myself. Do you trust you? See you later, and bye for now.